That's right.
We always laughing.
Y'all too much got some in.
No, he just started off laughing.
I know, he just looks at you, okay.
Maybe I'm funny looking. I don't know.
But every time you look at me, okay. You remember that? It's like, okay.
Oh, that's recording too, ain't it?
Yeah.
All good.
All right. So we're back. This is spoken in our words. I'm Chigozie O.
Pink Gator.
Jared Gilmore.
Today we're going to talk about Black economics.
When you look at Black economics, you know that's one of the cornerstones of really a spinoff of what we talked about in terms of Black America. And so when you start looking at Black economics, we have to understand, well, what is it that we want to know about Black economics and how can we better ourselves and make our dollar go further per household? And that's really what it equates to. How well does the dollar work for us? That's really what we want to know.
So is there like a starting point for it though? Like a foundation where Black economics begins? You know, is it more so, you know, teaching kids from once they're born, you know, start your own companies, build from there? Or is it after they've worked for someone else, corporate America, they take their dollars together?
See, I'm going to tell you, it's really the household, per household. Because collectively, as a Black people, we're not all on the same accord. I had this conversation with several of my classmates a few years ago, and I'm gonna give you two people. One person goes, they're from a household where they're taught, get an education, go through school, blase, and then go work for someone. Then you got the other side of that coin where someone says, okay, I can learn from my dad at our business if he does auto mechanics or whatever the case may be. Instead of me going through school, I'm learning from someone, building a model so I can take over the family business, but I'm learning entrepreneurship from the household. Now, let me show you how I'm going to pretty much diverge into this. Many times, the person that goes through school, and it also spins off and looks, what is the value of education at this point? You can look at it from the standpoint, here it is, I'm going through school, I'm obtaining these different degrees, and I'm thinking I'm bettering myself. In what instance I am, but after 10 years, I come out of school, I have an insurmountable amount of debt that I'm leaving school with. And now I gotta go ask somebody for a job that's not even gonna pay me enough to even stay afloat. But this person who graduated with me at the same time, in 10 years, now they've learned how the dollar works, they've learned how to make money in terms of entrepreneurship. In 10 years, they're much better off. Matter of fact, I may have to ask that person for a job. And that has happened in so many instances where here it is, I have this education training, I have all these degrees and certificates or whatever the case may be, but now I'm having to go to this person to ask for a job, and many times they'll tell me I'm overqualified, and that's a stumbling block. Or I got to start from the bottom, but now everybody I'm working with looking at me crazy because they like, this person is a threat to me because I've been at my job for X amount of time, but they have the degree. You see what I'm saying?
No, yeah, it's crazy. You know, you have it's multiple facets to examine. You can talk about, you know, Black business ownership. You can talk about, you know, Black dollars, how it leaves our community quickly.
Yeah.
You know, we spend all this money on hair care products, getting nails and toes done, yet the people we give our money to don't look like us.
Exactly. I agree.
The people we buy our hair from, well, we don't because we're all bald.
Right.
But people, our women get their hair from, don't look like them.
Right.
Correct.
So yeah, we're not starting our own businesses, and then what money we do make from working in corporate America or other jobs, we're giving away.
Okay. With this topic, Black economics, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier. You asked, do you think it starts, you know, say at the home, or should it start with, you know, going to work for another company first or whatever it may be? Personally, and, you know, do the research and me knowing personally, being, you know, having 3 to 4 other entrepreneur businesses on my own on the side, it's very important to partake in business ownership from birth, growing up. I went to a Chinese restaurant one day. I love some shrimp fried rice. Little man had to be 7 years old. Look me dead in my eye, 723. Didn't break stride, swipe my credit card, right? It starts, like we always say, a lot of things start at home.
Exactly.
If we are raised up in that culture, that mentality of how to own, how to operate, how to manage. Manage is really a big key piece. I can have 10 businesses, but if I don't know how to manage the ins and outs, I'm just going to be busy with no money. But anyway, it's very important to birth that culture, be born into that culture of owning and operating and managing versus, well, okay, I'm just going to go through school. I'm going to go get all these degrees, these pieces of paper, have all this debt, then I'm going to go ask for a job to help me pay for a degree that I earned, you know what I mean, and still be, that doesn't make sense, right? So 9 times out of 10, if you take the institution part, I'm just graduate, get this degree to go work for somebody, it's a slim chance, that you're going to end up understanding how important it is to work for yourself and own how important ownership is. And a company, like you said, if we buy these hair products and they don't look like us, at the same time, some of those products were created by us, but we sold them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's levels to it.
It is.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point in the game, knowing that.
Correct.
Again, mentality.
There you go.
But
no, you're right.
It's mentality. You're right. If we wake up saying, you know what, I'm gonna own and do for myself.
Correct.
And not only am I gonna do that, I'm gonna teach my kids to own and do for themselves.
Correct.
That way, at no point in time are they working for anyone other than themselves or the family.
Right.
If we do that, we can definitely strengthen our economic stronghold.
Yeah.
And if we're not going to do that, if we're not going to teach them to start their own company, because some people they don't want to start their own companies.
Right.
I get
and that's
that.
understandable.
That's okay.
Correct.
But at the same time, keep your dollars.
Right.
Your dollars. Go places that people look like you. That way, at least some money is circulating in our community.
I agree with that because, I joined one organization here in Houston, and they really taught how money exchanges in certain cultures 17 times, 12 times, 15 times. But in our culture, it may stay in there 6 hours. And so that stuck with me. But here's what I started looking at. We need to learn how to pool our resources.
Right.
The bottom line is, many times, and I'm going to use this instance because I see it in my community. So it's personal for me. Many times, a family may come from California. They sold their house. They live in a shack in California. They sold it for $400,000, right? They come here and they buy a nice home for $200,000. But here's the catch. There may be multiple families in that house. Most of us would shy away from that. But it's genius when you look at it.
Yeah.
Reason being, everybody got a room just like they would do at an apartment or whatever the case may be, right? And so each one of these people, each one of these families collectively have a room and they use shared quarters or whatever the case may be. But the thing about it, they're able to build their wealth so that they're not working from check to check. So now this is truly about mentality. It has to be a dynamic shift in our consciousness. We can't say for every dollar we get, we're going to spend $2. You never get anywhere.
Right.
You have to say, okay, let's work a plan. And if we come and develop a plan for our household, then it's common sense. We're going to all get better. And then we need to have these conversations within our community. Now, I'm not saying that I'm all black. I used to think that, but that's not really the right approach. Because there are some things that we do that's really good, and there's some things others do that's really good. We need to learn the best practices possible and apply it on our individual family level, and then community level, and then we can build real wealth. See, there's a big difference between somebody getting rich and wealth.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. And a lot of people, a lot of people say, I own a business. Okay, what kind of business you do? Right. And you're trying to do some kind of get rich scheme, or you're trying to do some kind of I ain't into that.
Yeah.
That's not going. I'm not saying it didn't work for some people.
Correct.
But look, You got to figure out what is it that you can do. And see, at the end of the day, I agree with you. It was one thing you said last week, several things, but one thing just really stuck with me. We got to ask ourselves, what do you want? That's the golden key. Before you can do anything, if you go back to the days of when everybody used to apply the scientific method, there's one thing you got to find out, the question, the hypothesis. And that's what we got to apply. What do you want? And now let's devise a plan as to how we're going to go by and do it.
Right.
And that's just the reality of it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
With the, and I'll keep, repeating the topic, just, for viewers tuning in, what they're talking about. Black economics, going back to what both of you are really saying, we were talking about, you're talking about being in the home, everybody staying together, you can't help but go up if you are pooling your resources. That is very important. That is very key. And it's very clear also that a lot of us don't get it. Marcus Garvey was saying that in 1921 in the speeches and writings of Garvey. Dr. Amos Wilson had been saying that. Martin Luther King was saying that. And I mean, he's clearly saying, there's a clip on YouTube, he's clearly saying that we got to pool our resources. He said, take your money out of here, put your money in this bank. Now that's power. Martin Luther King saying that. In a matter of words and short version, this is what we're doing. Sharing information, sharing news, sharing our opinions in a positive light. We're talking about positive issues, talking about some bad situations that may take place in life, but we're discussing them like adults.